Episode 16?
16. And can you guess, this is our episode right before Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, right before Thanksgiving.
Yep. So happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
y'all.
Thanksgiving to everyone.
And what's really cool here, this is our art class, and as a summative assessment, they had to mold, make, create
Fake foods.
Fake foods.
Yeah, because you know, in cinematography and things like that, those hot lights can melt ice cream, for example. And so you want to learn how to make fake foods. And so this is her art class pick here, and they made fake foods. The summative assessment behind us fits in perfectly with our video for this week, which is creative summative assessment.
Creative summative assessments.
Summative versus formative.
Correct.
Let's hash that out real quick.
Sure. So formative assessments, small things you do every day, multiple times within a classroom, or things that you might do, like they're writing a paper, you give them feedback over time. It could be multiple days. But the formatives all should lead up to the summative. How do you know they ultimately learned what you intended for them to learn?
Right. So, Chan, formative versus summative, which one is for the students and which one is for the teachers?
Ooh, that's great. I would say that formative is for the student. It's okay to make mistakes.
Yep,
right?
that's how they learn.
And that's how they learn.
Okay, so that's a quick synopsis for you of the difference between a formative and a summative assessment. And so those big summatives at the end of the year, semester projects, we would advocate that you get away from those really lengthy tests that they're just like high stake kind of a deal.
Having to memorize information.
Yeah, and that you do something that shows their body of knowledge, but in a creative way, right?
Right. So we have a treat for you.
Yes.
All right.
So watch this, and
Yep.
then we'll be back.
Exactly.
I'm standing here with Mrs. McGuire, and Mrs. McGuire is currently watering a little bit of a garden at our elementary school. And we're standing here in our farm. Let's have Mrs. McGuire kind of explain to you what this whole farm and discipleship thing is all about.
Okay. So we just wanted the kids to have an opportunity to have some hands-on experience with animals, and so we're doing a little discipleship class that does crop husbandry and animal husbandry. So we have 2 goats, a handful of chickens, and 1 bunny. They actually have to come out in teams of 3 every day on their own at their lunch period when they're done eating. So they each have 1 day a week that they are responsible for taking care of these animals, and they do that completely unsupervised without a teacher or a parent. So they're here every day at the farm making sure that things get done.
And what grades are we talking about here?
6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay, so barely middle school and into middle school. Talk about collaboration, relationship, responsibility, teamwork.
And finding out where their chicken nuggets come from.
Right, exactly, no kidding.
You're so cute. I meant to throw it over the goats. Come on.
Is that the food you're feeding them?
Just scratch.
Oh, look at that cutie. What's this rabbit's name?
Mr. White.
Mr. White. He seems to be quite comfortable in that position. So what does Mr. White eat?
Pellets
Pellets?
and hay.
So not what the chickens are getting.
No.
What chicken?
Penguin.
That's Penguin the chicken?
Yeah, penguin.
Hi, Penguin the chicken. So at lunchtime, you guys have the responsibility of feeding and cleaning up?
Yeah, so the eggs are in there.
The eggs are, do you have to collect the eggs at lunch?
Yeah, there's
Were
only
there any?
one in there. You just can't see it because it's kind of dark.
How do you get them out of there?
There's a side over there.
Oh, will you
and
show
can
me?
Just lift it up. Yeah. Hey, are there this fake eggs still in there? Yeah.
Oh, there's a fake egg?
Yeah, because there's some
Why do you have fake eggs in them?
cannibal chickens. Yeah.
How does a fake egg stop him?
So they'll peck it and they'll see, oh, it can't open. It hurts my beak, so it'll stop.
Oh!
So here's an egg.
Is that a real egg?
Yeah.
And is that the fake egg?
Yeah. Yep. Egg. Actually, she might not be. She just like sit on them.
Oh yeah, they do feel different. So you collect the eggs, and then what happens?
And
Where do
then
you
we
put
take them to Mrs. Foxworthy's room where there's a bowl. You
Oh.
just put them in there.
So is this one laying an egg right now?
Probably just sitting on them.
Oh,
Sitting
so
on the
she's
big
got.
ones.
Oh, she thinks it's real.
I don't know.
We're 30 minutes into the farmer's market and half the stuff is already gone.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy, crazy awesome.
let's go check it out.
All right. Okay, so there's got to be a professionalism piece that they're all learning here. Besides, you said that like customer service, right? Yeah. But like writing up an invoice.
She's writing an invoice. Ella's in 6th grade.
Okay.
Whoa, buddy, you're almost out of produce.
Yes, there's no more carrot, one more piece of corn, some apples here, some apples.
Pomegranate.
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 Yes.
That's Mr. Fox.
You made
You
this?
made this?
Yeah, I made them.
Tell us how you made them.
Yes, please do.
So I had this clear paint, and there were paint sticks.
Yeah.
So I painted all on it, on these, and then I started sticking on them, and I put a sticky pad for people who had big handles and stick in the center.
We just found out from Mrs. McGuire that you came and spoke to the students today before the farmer's market to help them with this business.
Right, we talked about sales and marketing.
And what was your strategy for teaching 6th, 7th, and 8th graders?
To engage your customers, to not just stand there, to go out and greet your customers, engage them, imply the sale like, you'd like a cookie, wouldn't you?
Right.
Instead of, you don't want any cookies, do you?
Did they seem pretty receptive to that?
Yes, and then they were out here and they were working their tables. They were trying to engage as you would walk by. They would say, "Hi, Miss Thomas. Hi, Miss Chandler," and try and draw you in.
Sometimes we don't think that our kids can do exactly what he's talking about.
Right.
Young kids can start businesses. They don't. These are middle school kids, but I dare say that even kids younger have been known to
Right.
show an entrepreneurial spirit, and
Yes.
we should encourage our kids to do that.
Why do you think it's important for students at this age to learn these entrepreneurial skills?
Well, I think it's good to learn a little bit about handling money, a little bit about, trying to do the math of how much is charged, engaging with adults, and all the current research seems to lead to we're entering into this gig economy,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is basically when they become of age, the days of I worked for General Electric for 60 years and I got
Yeah.
a pension.
Yeah, it's going away big time. We
So
already know
it's
it.
it's trying to find little gigs. I do this, I do that. If you can do something on the side and make a few bucks, and so I think that's kind of you're going to have to learn to create your own income. Create some level of opportunity for yourself, and potentially create jobs. So
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
giving
you.
your time for the students.
hopefully, what we will learn today
Yahoo.
and have fun.
And learning can be fun. Holy cow!
Shocking.
Learning can be fun.
Thanks.
All right. Ella and Mom.
Hey!
Do tell us.
Oh my goodness!
Is this not the cutest? Tell us, how did you do this?
So that's when we take a barb needle and we stab a piece of wool until it forms into whatever we want, in this case pumpkins. And then we add another, we add the colorful wool. We just stab it on too.
Meat rub. Did you make this yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. I bet you won't give away your secret though.
What do you recommend your spice mix goes in?
It's kind of like anything that you would put with pepper and salt.
Okay. Is it a little bit spicy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Homemade hummus with sprinkles in it.
We like to try
You want some
sample
homemade
of the
hummus with sprinkles in it?
That's sweet.
A happy birthday hummus.
Let us introduce to you, this is April McGuire.
Yes, Mrs. McGuire, the woman in charge. Although we do want to recognize Mrs. Foxworthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is her discipleship class, so we're just filling in this year for her.
So talk to us about what it took to put this farmer's market on.
Well, this was a lot of work, but it was all kind of generated from ideas from the kids, so they were really excited about...
Student-centered. Keep going.
Yep, they were really excited about...
Student excitement. Keep going.
Yes,
just
yes.
sharing what they kind of do in the farm with people as they interacted with them. We started
Okay, community relationship. Keep going.
Yeah, we started.
I'm gonna keep listing all the.
I'll just hold the camera.
So we
Things that are good
started.
summative assessment. Keep going.
We started a pumpkin patch, and we we're gonna sell these little pumpkins that we grew at our first farmers market. But we ended up having to do a lesson on crop failure because something ate all of our little seedlings.
Real life applications.
Yep.
Life
and
happens.
It does, and it was a great lesson on the ramifications of crop failure and what that looks like just to us and all the hard work we did, but also globally and how that can have such a big impact on a community and, you know, a nation and the world. So
Keep going.
Not learning in a
Keep going.
vacuum.
that's right. It was a great lesson. So yeah, I mean, it's just great outdoor, hands-on, get really dirty. But lots of fun because you get to interact with animals, and yeah, it's just a great class.
Cool. Talk about the genesis of this idea. Like, so as you were like, hey, we have all this stuff, and what can we do with it? Did the kids kind of come up with the idea?
Yeah,
Or
so-
it was just kind of this random brainstorm thing?
Well, we had a vet visit, which we have to have every year. They come out and they give a lesson on how to care for the animals, but they also give them all their shots. And it's $220 every time they come out. So we just decided, hey, let's have a little market.
How can we make money?
Hopefully we can pay for our vet visit. That's our goal, was to make $220 today, and I think we far exceeded it.
Yay!
Yay!
So awesome. Congratulations.
Go.
And it was great. I mean, we got community help from the teachers. We had teachers bake us pies. Those were huge sellers. Thank you so much to all the teachers who baked a pie or baked
right
brought in a treat. So those were huge sellers.
So you think about the relationships that you have amongst you and your kids, and then with the teachers, and now with the community. In class, do the kids give feedback to each other? How does that process look?
Oh, for sure, because before we actually go out to the farm every class period, we talk about concerns, because the kids actually feed every day, Monday through Friday. So their job at lunch is to go and feed. They take shifts and they have a little team.
Class does not meet every day of the week. It only meets
2 days a week.
So
Right.
they have to do all this planning.
Yeah.
That's right. And so, and they are there all by themselves at lunchtime, having to interact with each other,
Autonomy.
work as a team. You know, they don't always disagree. Sometimes we have to talk about that in class, because they'll have, you know, we disagreed about how you do this or how you do that,
Yeah.
and then we clarify it. So, yeah, it's great team building in class.
What a great model of roles, team building, self-critique, other critique. I mean,
Yeah, my
so
daughter
powerful.
is in this class, and she has the lunch duty responsibility, and so she'll sometimes come home and talk about the social interactions that are going on there, or lack thereof.
Yes.
And then I'm
Can't
sure.
lock your classmate in the chicken coop. That's a no-no.
Oh boy.
All right, well, we better let her get back to
Yeah.
what she's here for.
And I'll put it in the trash.
This is my
This is her
dad.
dad.
Hi, Dad.
Well,
It's a
howdy.
whole family event.
How you doing?
Well, we're so proud of you.
Yeah.
What a great job. I
Thank
lost count. We're at least probably up to 20 really
Oh,
important
my
components
gosh.
here of learning and summative assessments. So
Well
great job,
done.
lady. Yeah.
Well done.
Woo.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
How fun was that? Great place to start. So our teacher did this. So as photography teacher, what are you doing?
Right, so here's a summative assessment from art. I'm a photography teacher. Next period, I'm going to bring my photography students in here, and they're going to learn how to capture still life and product photography and that kind of thing. So I'm going to teach them how to do that.
And then the Spanish teacher made a vocab list. Isn't this crazy? And now she is taking her kids through, and they have to figure out what's what in here.
Yeah.
So cool. So the idea is these creative summative assessments invite other people in the community in. And there's a number of different ways you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought that was one of the huge strengths of the farmers market, especially, was the relationships.
Right.
And how it invited different people into the community, into the project. Take, for example, the husband of the gal who put this whole thing together.
Yeah.
He's a professor at the U of A who
Right.
speaks to college students about entrepreneurship, but then he came down and spoke to the kids in their language and their level.
Right.
Right. So that's just one small connection.
Right, and also the students learned about how farming and agriculture and husbandry can has an impact on economics and can impact the world globally. And so, and then brought in the community to do the shopping at the farmer's market. And of course, that's
Right.
great for your school if you could do something like that.
Yeah.
So being creative with your summative assessments is really the way to go if you can. We've given you an example with the farmer's market, and now we're giving you an example with art right behind us.
And one more thing to add to that is all these different components actually create an authentic audience for
Right.
the kids. Okay.
Yes.
So you could even say that photography is an authentic audience for this because they're going to be taking pictures of that in an intentional way.
Right. Well, and then at the end of the semester in photography, we have an authentic audience where they come in and they judge their
Yeah.
body of work and pick a first, second, and third place
Exactly.
winner.
And they have a gallery walk and so on.
Yeah, so-
there's a lot of great interconnections here is what I really love about this. And
Your
we love it about
summative?
our community.
For bio, you're summative for bio.
Oh, golly.
In like 3 sentences?
3 seconds. So they're actually doing field research over a novel question that they created, and they're collecting data. They're writing one collaborative paper, but then they have to do an oral defense, just like I had to do when I defended my field research.
Right.
I defended it to people who knew what they were talking about. So I'm inviting people from the university come sit and be judges and panelists for that, people who are ecologists. And I told the kids that the other day, and they were like, oh, what? I'm like, and they're like, oh. So that raise that anxiety in a good way
Right.
to let them know, no, this means business.
Oh, you mean someone besides my teacher is going to be looking at this?
Oh my goodness.
That reminds me.
It should not be an audience of one.
No,
Our kids' work
no.
should never be an audience of one.
Never should. And that reminds me, my government class, we have a huge summative assessment that has been building throughout the whole year, and the final product is a handwritten letter to their congressperson on the committee of their topic choice. So once that kind of settled in, like,
No,
wait
this
a
is-
minute,
this
you
is
mean
real.
they're reading this? Then it, just like you said, it raised that anxiety level in a positive way, makes them more invested in their product.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Oh my goodness. So we challenge you, just try one thing, take something, do something big with it. And it doesn't have to be a large scale to be big.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
Get away from those fill in the blank tests and be more creative in your assessments.
Right on. Okay.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. See ya.